Hey there, Rambo. So, yeah, we said to do a video for you. So, first observation, there's probably not a great deal I'm going to be able to teach you, mate. 56% defence is absolutely outstanding, so really well done. Um, Obviously, you're not level 25 yet, so you won't be able to get your CC upgraded. As soon as you do, though, obviously that'll give you the option to get this to 1,000, which will be obviously absolutely fantastic, and you'll get 600 in your air, so that's an extra couple of Reapers. Already looks like you're attacking correctly because you've got one tank and a continuous fire type system, which I think is absolutely superb. So that's going to work really, really well. So that's what your Bravo. In fact, I think your Bravo is better than your Alpha. So, I mean, for me, if I had a lot of air defense, which I do, and I have salvos and mortars, your Alpha platoon is not going to worry me at all. Really, I think your Bravo platoon's a far stronger setup than your Alpha personally. I'd be using helicopters at this stage just purely in defence. Not a huge fan of using them in attack yet, although that will come later. What I'd be doing rather than building them, I'd be using the crits to actually upgrade them, because the stronger you can get them, the better. That's absolutely fantastic. You've obviously got 1, 1 and 2, which is superb. But what that could suggest is if you'd have perhaps been a little bit more minimal in your helicopters, you might have actually had them at level 5 or 6, because obviously you need crits to build them, you need crits to upgrade them. So it is a bit of a trade-off at first. This is really good. Your Mortarman in defence is absolutely fantastic, so I couldn't have done anything better myself. Really, really good. So obviously get those Mortarmen upgraded as quick as you can. And nice to see this as well. I think that's a good setup. You've got one tank coming out of 14, then two at 28. I mean, you could maybe go 1-1-1, so they come out, a little bit quicker. There is debate whether to use S13s or what have you. I mean, to be honest, I'm not troubled by any S13 or PK in defence. The Humvee IVF, on the other hand, is a little bit different. But I think the tank's the better option at this level, purely and simply because it takes longer to kill. Although you can bait it, it does take more time, which is always good. Your walls look good. Looks like your base is tight. We'll have a little look at that in a second. I've left the clan just for you, mate, so we can have a little scout of your base. So where are we? That's you there. So no, you're not. There we are. So let's scout you. So yeah, just triple check that wall there, brother. Make sure no soldiers get out. I think you're already good. I'm liking this as well, mate. You're not going OT2 with walls. Yourself that there's no wall at this level that's going to really cause any major difference. So you might as well save your XP and keep your walls really low. I'd be mindful of your transformers here. You've got your transformers in place, but I can't see any of your turrets lit up. If you get your turrets closer to the transformers, they'll then light up, and if it was, say, the railgun, it'll fire twice as quick as it would otherwise. If it's the salvo, it's the same thing. The flak, it'll have a little bit more juice to it. So that certainly needs a little look at. Now, you'll get a third transform when you get to level 25 as well. So keep this theory up where your walls are quite minimal. That'll be excellent. Now you've got a lot of railgun here. Now if I was coming from this side here, by the time this railgun even starts, I'll have took it out. I'll have took out your flak, and I'll have took out your barracks. So you're quite vulnerable down this side here. So I'd personally be having a little tweak of that. Maybe bring your base down this way rather than along that way. Will give you a shorter sort of defence around this sort of area here. Personally as well, on my setup, obviously I've got an extra turret than you have. I've got at least 2 flaks, which you've got, and then I'm predominantly howitzers. Howitzers for me, I don't really get any need for machine guns because I'm not getting attacked by soldiers typically, but you are getting attacked by vehicles and things like that. So howitzers, I mean salvos are another good option, specifically for troops. I find it used to be salvo was my main weapon for my turrets, but nowadays they've downgraded it, so it's not as good. So for me, I'd be probably more going towards howitzers. But I think you're vulnerable from this side here, brother. So I would orientate your base to come down this way. Potentially. I mean, just see how you feel on that, really. But certainly get these turrets lit up because at the moment they're not. Or certainly from what I can see here, they're not. If you move one closer to the transformer, you'll see it change colour and have like a ring of power on it, and then you know it's good. So have a little look at maybe spreading out your defence as well. So the idea is that you want them to spawn as far away from your base as possible, which is why this looks close. And that's going to then give them time to get to you. And by then, obviously, your defence has managed to obviously spawn out, your mortarmen are out, your tanks out, and things like that. I'd maybe as well bring your keep your helicopter in. That should work. But I mean, your helicopter can live outside if you want to tighten up your walls and make it stronger as well. So there's a few sort of little things you could look at there. Ultimately, if you look at your spacing, you'll be able to get rid of these little spawn zones. So here, you could spawn straight away, and then you're at your war factory. Here you could spawn straight away, and you're going to take out the railgun before it even powers up. Yes, you'll take a hit from the salvo here, but what I would do here, if I wanted to come in from this side, I'd set off a tank here, park it to where the oil well is there. Salvo will then lock onto that only, and then I would just come in with all my Humvees or PKs or whatever I've got, and just take you out from this side here. Because ultimately, if you look, once you get rid of this railgun, which will take time to charge up, and bearing in mind yours isn't a transformer, so it will take even longer. You're basically gonna take out the salvo, take out your choppers, take out your obviously war factory and your infantry, because you haven't got anything else that's going to hit me, because if you notice, that's these are both air defence, which is absolutely correct. But yeah, you maybe need to have a little think. Now, not saying my base is correct, but I will send you a couple of little base videos of what I've got going on. But I'll just try and show you the principle. Longer video than usual, so apologies for that for you. Come on. So base. Okay, so my walls are probably going more square. I've used some extra walls that I got for free when they did an update recently. You'll find that with CC5 you'll have a few more extra walls. So I'm making sure that my salvo and things like that protect around here from mortarmen. I've got basically that turret is covering that turret. This turret is covering that turret, and so on and so forth. I'm kind of, that one's obviously not protected much, so maybe I need to have a little tweak of that, swap them two over. But I'm always trying to make sure that every turret covers every turret, really. I guess I'm covered in from the salvo point of view in the middle there. That's what I'm trying to aim for. Everything's well spread out, so the spawn zones on my base are really quite far out, which gives a chance for the mortarmen to deploy, and obviously the gives me chance to rain death on them with my howitzers. If you notice though, the turrets on mine are lit up, and that's what you're missing. So you want your transformers as close as you can, so everything lights up. And I've got it, so I've got 3 transformers which you get at level 25, and I've got 6 turrets. Now the other thing, on every turret I will go in and I've got everything maxed on it. Whether I use it or not, I've got it, and then if the game changes or if I feel the need to adapt or tweak to a particular setup, then I can look at that, whereas normally you won't necessarily have thought through that much. Again, I've got a little bit more wall grid than you have, but I like what you've done. I'd stay with that as much as you can, because I'm at level 27. I'm just trying to max as much XP out of it as I can. Now, continuous fire that you've got, absolutely fantastic. What I'd be looking to do next is get the PK upgrade and the Humvee upgrade in the next event. Now, Humvee is my vehicle of choice, but here's a little tip for you. So, if we go into the army, and if we go into the Humvee IVF here, so I can build one and it will cost me money. So initially, if I reserve the building of any Humvee until I get the IFV model, and then I can build lots of them, because if I want to build the current Humvee, I need crits. Now I want to use my crits for upgrading, not for building. That's the principle I'm always trying to do. So that's a little top tip for you. Now obviously the PK again, you can build them and they're a lot more powerful than the normal PK, so you know, really good. But if you notice, like all the IFV, they carry people inside, so when they get destroyed, soldiers and that come out, which obviously gives you even more defence. So that's kind of how I work, and obviously take on board what you need and what you don't, and go from there, bro. Alright, thank you.